Hello and welcome to our full moon in Aquarius circle. This live date is August 2nd, but you can watch this in any time that works for you. Follow along with the group, go along with the meditation, take some notes, and then we have a few journaling questions at the end, as well as a tarot reading from our friend Jamie at Independence Street. So I hope you enjoy. So cool. Yay. Hey gals, I'm so happy to see all of you always. And Miss Carrie, is it Carrie or Kari? Carrie?
Carrie is fine, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Carrie and Brooke, it's the first time, so welcome,
Mhm.
welcome. Happy to have
Thank
you.
you.
And I'm so excited that we're gonna have Jamie do a reading for us. I don't know why this never
Awesome.
occurred to me before, because Jamie's like the most trusted person I go to for like tarot readings, and so I was like, oh, because I get a lot of you other girls that'll ask me about tarot readings, and I'm like, well, it's not really my wheelhouse. Like I know what I know, but I would rather give you to someone who this is her expertise. So I'm so happy that she's gonna be here for us doing that. So thanks, Jamie. Cool. So let's go ahead and get started. So we always do just a quick little round of introductions because half of the reason why I love doing this is this aspect of community. I think especially now that we're all kind of still stuck inside maybe and can't see as many people, it's cool to just interact and connect with one another. And it's cool because now we're to the point where we're like all over the country. So now you're just sort of growing your like babe squad and meeting all of these super cool and inspiring like-minded women, which is really cool. So we're gonna go around the little circle, just say hey, introduce yourself, and now it's to the point where like a few of you like know each other, even though you don't know each other, which is my favorite thing. And so we're gonna go through that and say a little bit about yourself, where you're at, and then we always do just a little quick like not journal prompt, discussion prompt, I guess. It's just like one quick question that then everyone answers as well. So our question today, that's the view I want. Our question today is, what are you harvesting in your life right now? So it's playing off of this festival that we just had on Saturday, which was yesterday. Yeah, which was a pagan festival called Lammas, the day right in between the summer solstice and the fall equinox and the beginning of the harvest. So we're looking at that a bit energetically, just saying what you're harvesting in your life right now. It doesn't have to be like anything super deep and emotive if you don't want it to be. You could say, oh, I picked a bunch of cucumbers today, and that counts. Like it's fine. So just interpret it however you want to, and then we'll go from there. So I'll start since I make everyone do these cheesy little intros. I'm Sierra, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you always. My favorite thing ever in the whole wide world. I'm in Indiana currently. I was in New Orleans for a few years. It's my favorite place in the whole wide world. But now I'm here in Indiana. My partner and I are building out a big old Dodge Ram van, and we're turning the back of it into a little mobile home where we're going to take us and our two puppy dogs and go around the country for a little bit. So hopefully we'll be done with that in the end of fall. Fingers crossed for that. So that's what we're doing now. And I would say probably that's what I've harvested right now that I'm doing, because especially my girls that have been coming to these for a while, or just the girls that I've known for a long time. I've kind of been talking about this for a while, and back at the beginning of the year it was like, oh, like we kind of think maybe we want to do something like this, and oh, that would be cool like one day. But then I don't know, coronavirus happened, and that was just a really big catalyst for like me and my boy to really think about what it is that we wanted out of our lives. So we're like, oh, we're just kind of sitting on our thumbs here. It's like, might as well go build the van and do the thing. So now we're here and we're doing that. So that's been that's been our harvest for the year and for this season. So that's me. And my dogs are like going crazy, like beating each other up in the corner. I'm trying so hard not to be distracted by the cuteness, but it's really hard to. Jamie, let's have you go second if you don't mind.
Okay. So my name is Jamie, and I also live in New Orleans right now, and that's how I met Sierra. And it's been a great friendship, I like to think.
Yeah.
Yes. And so thank you for asking me to do a reading. I'm real excited to do a reading tonight. I think what I am harvesting right now is just this wave of good energy that just kind of showed up on my doorstep. So I really notice it, so I just want to keep harvesting it. I think that's it.
Good. Keep it coming in.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks. Brooke, why don't you go third?
Okay. Hi, I'm Brooke. I am from New Orleans, and that is where I met Sierra. Like we literally like stumbled. I saw her with a hoop, and I walked up to her. I was like, I need to know who you are immediately. um, but yeah, I am 24, and so like I work at like a little salon over here. Um, as of right now, I've been working more so with my willpower. Like just my willpower, like just to actually do the things that I say I'm going to do. So like today I got out on my yoga mat for the first time in a very long time. And so like I want to have the willpower to show up on the mat every day. And also just like a little bit deeper, just yesterday was August 1st. So that started, the first day where I'm going to be completely sober, no alcohol, no anything. So the willpower to just continue with that this month. Clear mind, clear body, So yeah.
Oh yeah, girl, proud of you. And in New Orleans too.
Yes, in New Orleans. And now's the best time though, I mean, everything's kind of shut down anyways, but stopping myself from like going and getting stuff and drinking at home, I'm gonna treat myself to like kombucha or something instead.
Yeah, girl, get it. I've loved it. The more, and two, the less that you drink, they say the more, probably is a bad way to look at it, but then the more sugar you're allowed to eat because you're consuming a lot less. So you're like, oh, I didn't have wine, so I can have a brownie. So it's okay. That's probably a really bad way to look at it. Don't substitute one vice for another, but that option is open for you if you want it. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing and congratulations. It's a really big step. I'm really proud of you. Britta, let's have you go.
Hi, I'm Britta. I'm from New York. I love that wine and brownie substitution. I think it's fantastic.
Good.
What am I harvesting right now? I think I'm harvesting a lot of justice in the yoga industry, but also like healing because of that. So those are the two things I'm harvesting right now. Yeah.
Yeah, Britta is killing it on the front lines in that. So if you're ever interested in, women supporting women, standing up for maybe some different inequalities and discriminations that are circling around the yoga industry, then Britta can 100% tell you where to go to support that, where you can go like petitions to sign, people to call, and all of that good stuff. So definitely talk to her if that's something that you're interested in helping out with. Miss Julia Gulia.
Hi. So I'm in Bloomington, and what I'm harvesting right now is better daily habits. So Brooke, I identify a lot with what you said too. I scaled it back to just like having my shift beer and a beer at home, but it's way better than a case. So self-discipline, yes. And I went for a walk this morning. It's not running yet, but we'll get there.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
You ladies here, do I have it nearby? Oh. Yeah, if you want to read this book, it's going to be backwards, but by Ruby Warrington, Sober Curious, this book is really great. I just finished it, and yeah, it's really great. She writes like really casually. She used to be like a lifestyle journalist, and then she wrote a book. But yeah, it's about like why we choose to drink, the good stuff that comes when you don't drink, stuff like that. So it's a pretty easy, chill read if that's something that you guys are interested in. It's Annie Banani.
Hello. I am also in Bloomington, and I mean, a lot of us are saying how we met Sierra, so I might as well do that. So Sierra actually lived in Bloomington, but I didn't know her, and her boyfriend worked with my boyfriend over at Zoomies, and we went and visited them in New Orleans last fall, and Sierra was so lovely to show some hospitality. She showed us around, and she also invited us to one of her yoga sessions that she was teaching. And it was like the first class I had ever been to. Actually, it's like the only class I've ever been to, but, obviously she's awesome. That's why we're all here. But yeah, it made me fall in love with that. And I'm right there with you, Brooke. Like, I'm just trying to get back into like actually staying on top of it. I think for what I'm harvesting is like having self-motivation as well and self-discipline, and just getting back into that daily routine. I work in retail. I'm a Hot Topic store manager. I just hit my 11th year anniversary, only job I've ever had in my life. So I really want to get out of there, but right now it's back to school season. I just hired an entire new staff for the most part. My assistant manager's out. She had a baby, and I'm just like, so I'm tired. I'm just really tired. So just getting back into a routine and not just letting my dishes sit on the freaking counter forever is something that I need to get on. But even my clothes are just like piling up. So just having that self-discipline and motivation is like kind of where I'm at for what I'm trying to harvest right now. So yeah, that's it.
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. I also just want to add that her and her boy, they're so cute because her boy and my boy are like best friends. And so that's how we met. And in their very first class that I taught, her and her guy were in the very back and they were just holding hands during Shavasana. And it was the cutest shit I ever seen in my entire life. I was like, oh, it's like I'm just gonna let them do their thing. It was great. Okay, Miss Carrie, would you like to finish us out?
Sure. Hi, I'm Carrie. I just met Sierra tonight through Jamie. Jamie and I have been in several schools before learning Reiki. We did Reiki together and some other energy work. And I am harvesting a brand new career. I've been in the service industry for the last 15 years. After, intertwined with other career things, but I just decided that I've been trying to get out of it for about 10 years. And I finally, due to the pandemic, found another job, and so I'm harvesting a new work from home routine. It's all like computer stuff, which I'm new at. I don't even know what I'm doing really, but I'm figuring it out, and I'm changing a lot of things in my life, in my living environment. Right now, everything's a mess because I'm just trying to make an office for myself. And drinking, for all of you who are not drinking, I feel for myself, I drank heavily as a bartender, as just living a vibrant lifestyle, I should say. When your vibration goes a little higher, you don't feel the need to drink as much. And I find that when I do drink now in my life, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm already, vibing. I don't need to have all that alcohol to stimulate something that I'm missing. If you're doing the work for yourself, you don't need the alcohol to get you there. Yeah. So stay motivated on that, and it'll be all right. You won't miss it. So, I still have a glass of wine now and again. But I don't go out drinking, and I don't drink my pint of vodka at the end of the day. But I did put lemon in it, so that's healthy.
We've been there. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Low calories. We've been there.
Low calories, right, exactly.
Aww.
So
thank you for sharing, and congratulations on your new job and your work.
Thank you.
I know that's a really big endeavor. So
yeah, thank you.
Good. Well, Ms. Chloe, thanks for sneaking in. We're just at the end of introductions. Do you want to say hey? Tell us who you are.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm late. I was gardening and I was watering my plants. So Okay, so I live in Indiana. I live in Fountain Square, and I don't know what other things that you had to give us.
We were talking about what we're harvesting in our life right now.
I guess I'm harvesting my vegetables.
Yeah.
And I would say just living in the moment and being present is like really what has resonated with me, and how I can achieve just like all the goals that I want to achieve and still like live abundantly and balanced and all the good stuff. So just figuring that out and trying to be inspired and do art and fun things like that as well.
Heck yeah. Cool, thanks. Cool. I'm so happy for all of you guys to meet each other. And if you ever, there's a little chat box. I'm assuming we're all like slightly proficient in Zoom at this point now in the pandemic life, but there's a little chat box in there. And so if you guys ever want to, you can throw your like whatever platform you like, Instagram handles, Facebook, whatever, because when there comes that point when you're tired of like hearing me talk and you need something else to do, you know, you can just go and like follow each other on Instagram if that's what you want to do. Cool. So thank you all for that. So I just want to say a quick thing before we jump into the moon stuff was thank all of you guys that joined in the meditation challenge that we did in the moon school. I really loved hearing all of your good feedback about that and to hear how it helped you. So if you have a moment to maybe just like shoot me a DM or a message and let me know, you know, how it helped you. I'm planning on taking this framework. It was a 5-day meditation challenge. Sorry for the women who didn't know about it, that we did, that was all about like clarifying your intentions and really figuring out like step-by-step ways to put your intentions into manifestation. So this is something that I kind of want to take the framework and build it up so I can help a lot more women with it. So if you have any feedback or just how it might have helped you, I'd love you to shoot me a quick little message and let me know how you liked it. And if you ever need to, you can still go back and you can access those meditations indefinitely now, which is pretty cool. So I'll throw that link in there for anyone that might need it. And away we go to the full moon races. So I'll say at the beginning here, since we have a few new gals, that we have 2 aspects that we usually talk about at these shindigs. The first one is this traditional monthly energy of the moon. So you'll see some of the moons called like a corn moon or a strawberry moon or a harvest moon. And these are the monthly names that full moons get given based on the seasons that they're in. So for this August moon, it's called the sturgeon moon. Super sexy name. Sturgeon is a very large fish, and so it's named after these fish that were really abundant in the rivers at this time. They're usually named after Native American tribes. Some of them have a little bit of Celtic flair to them as well. A lot of these pagan like seasonal festivals are really Celtic in tradition. So if you like, you know, Celtic knots and just old like Irish folklore, then there's a lot of cool magical stuff that you can get into with that. But that's the first sort of little aspect of the moon that we talk about. The second aspect is sort of the more broad one that a lot of people know and really like to get into, which is the astrological part of it. So that is the fact that our moon is in Aquarius right now. And so the full moon will always be in opposition of what the solar season is in now. So it's Leo season right now. It's Leo birthdays. Is anyone a Leo here? Not that I know of, no. So the opposite of Leo is Aquarius. So the full moon is in Aquarius. So they kind of oppose each other. So that gives us a really good like foundation of the energy work that we do just in that aspect alone, that you have this sort of polarity of energies. And we'll talk a little bit about that more in depth. But so when we say that we're talking about sturgeon moon, you know, it's the seasonal, more traditional sort of energetic name applied to it. And then we're talking about the moon in Aquarius. That's the zodiac and all the like super starry goodness that everyone really, really likes. So putting that out there. So we go into the sturgeon moon bit first, because that's a bit more shallow, good way to like dip your toes in, because then we get into the zodiac stuff and then it's just a whole big well of goodness. So it's nice to just like ease yourself into it. Yeah. So with the sturgeon moon, it's the last month of the summer, right? Which is like, oh my God, like where the hell is the year gone? This giant shit show. The gift that keeps giving, sorry, that is 2020. Is the last month of the summer. So the summertime is really seen as this like full moon part of the year. So if we think about the year as one giant moon phase, like the summertime is really that full moon part, right? Everything's really abundant. Everything's really light. It's daylight until like 10 p.m., which is great. All the gardens are overflowing. So this is this time of really abundance and really, really trying to cultivate a sense of presence and some celebration. And I know that seems a little bit like trivial and maybe really hard to do, especially now, is to celebrate anything in life because everything just seems so damn hard. But just, you know, trying to find some time to celebrate and give some presence to something. Hey, Dee, yeah, you comfy? All right, go ahead, lay down. So after this, we start to sort of make that slow descent into fall, which is what that little seasonal celebration that we just had yesterday, Lammas, it's the beginning to fall towards fall now. So it's taking us into a more energetically intrinsic, more introspective way of being, which I know might sound monotonous now because we've all been inside forever. It's like, I've been intrinsic and internal this whole year. I know this is a very weird year, but it's time now that like, the seasons are going to catch up with that. So a little bit about sturgeon, if you're curious, that I didn't know, they're really like strong and sturdy fish, and they can live up to like 150 years. So that's nuts for a fish. I mean, granted, it doesn't get like eaten or, you know, anything, but I really thought that that was a good omen of like getting through challenges. You know, if this one fish can live for like 150 years, it's like we can survive this year, like we can do it. So, cool. So that is that little bit of that. We talked about llamas, and any questions so far, feel free to like unmute yourself and just say hey or put it in the chat. Yeah, cool. Let's see. Llamas, we talked about that. You can still do llama celebrations if you want. It's really just about gathering in community, which is like, what is that anymore? But this is us gathering in a community and celebrating. So good for you guys. So Aquarius stuff. All right, this is the stuff that kind of takes up this is the meat and potatoes kind of usually of what we talk about. So is anyone in Aquarius? I thought so. Aquarius is my moon sign, and I usually attract a lot of Aquariuses. But Jamie, are you one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie's in Aquarius. Yeah.
You know what? I'm an Aquarius and my moon sign is in Leo. So I'm the opposite. And it just dawned on me when you were talking about that. I was like, oh yeah. Oh, so yes. Okay, proceed.
This is like your time.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know we had so many similarities. Leo's my rising. You're not a Scorpio rising, are you? No. That'd be just like uncanny. Cool. So Aquarius, the energy of Aquarius. So there are two sort of really big attributes that we talk about when we talk about zodiac signs. One is the elements, and the other is whether it's fixed, stable, or cardinal. And we'll talk about that in a second. But the element first, Aquarius is an air sign. So air signs, or the energy of air, has a lot to do with intellect, observation, communication, learning. So any moon or any season that has to do with air sign is always really good for getting in community, writing and learning, you know, anything to sort of like level up your consciousness, learn more, speak more, you know, sort of that wind carrying energy. Aquarius in particular is really observant. It's a sign of kind of a little bit of upheaval and a lot of independence, but we'll get deeper into that first. But just know air is intelligence, communication, writing, journaling, reading. That can all be really good stuff to do around this time if you want. And then Aquarius is also a fixed sign. So there's mutable, there's fixed, and there's cardinal signs. So the fixed signs, I can speak, are really determined, really persistent. They have this really strong sense of like purpose and drive, really go-getting. Can equate to a little bit of stubbornness, but the really great part of fixed signs is that they're not afraid to like dig in and like hold on and kind of just like pedal to the metal for their goals and for their dreams. And that's a little bit of the energy that we're gonna kind of talk about and really figure out how to harness as a way to create change, which is the Aquarius spin on it. So really digging into your dreams, to your specific abilities as a way to create change. And so that's some of the energy that we're really going to be calling in. So Aquarius in particular is very progressive, very humanitarian, very revolutionary, and it's ruled by the planet Uranus. So Uranus is the planet of freedom, upheaval, change, and revolution. And this is really kind of pertinent now because Uranus is going to start to retrograde later this month. I think on August 15th. And so when planets retrograde, basically you probably hear about what is it, Mercury? That's the one that everyone likes to talk and blame about, is when Mercury goes retrograde. But all planets go retrograde. Just the planets that are further out, they take forever to get anywhere, so they don't happen as often. Mercury is really close to the sun, so it kind of retrogrades like all the time. But it's a little bit more frequent for the outer planets to retrograde. But when they do that, it basically just inspires reflection in whatever that planet's wheelhouse is. So every planet has different energies associated with it. Mercury's communication, technology. So that's why everyone says, oh, my life is fucking up because Mercury's in retrograde. So my computer doesn't work and I can't talk. It's because that's what Mercury has to do with Uranus. I keep wanting to say Uranus because that's how I'd always done it in school, but I'm trying to like be an adult and say Uranus. But so with Uranus retrograding, you know, it's bringing up some reflection in those aspects of freedom, of upheaval, of change and revolution. Like, what hella fucking relevant. And it's also going to bring those energies tied to that planet. They're going to like show up more so in our lives when they're retrograding, right? Because it brings the planet a bit closer to Earth when it's retrograding. So we feel kind of the effects a little bit more. And it's just this is sort of this one step, this one piece of this giant puzzle that is basically spelling out the deconstruction of the patriarchy and old, like, upsetting ways of being as we help to build a new. If you guys are in the Facebook group, I linked a video to this really great teacher. Her name's Pam Gregory, and she goes like way deep into this stuff. If you ever want to look at that, she's super duper awesome. But
I love Pam Gregory. She's one of my favorites.
She's so great. She's just so soothing to listen to. She's this like very elderly, poised British woman, and she talks about the stars for like 20 minutes at a time, and I just love listening to her.
She's great. She's great.
Yeah, so she gets into this stuff like really deep. If you ever want to like go and like binge watch some of her videos, she's really knowledgeable about it. So basically, there's this giant astrological blueprint for these crumbling of like old, really like, what's the word, confining ways of being that we're stuck in, and we're seeing a lot of that right now. On that note, and talking about Pam, you know, looking forward a bit, we're moving into what we call an Aquarian age, or an age of Aquarius, right? So a lot of these outer planets, right, like Uranus and Jupiter and stuff, they're moving into Aquarius. And it takes a really long time. You know, I talked about the outer planets taking forever to move. So I think Jupiter's finally going to arrive into the sign of Aquarius also in 2024, I want to say. So it's a bit of a longer transit, but basically what all this is doing is taking us towards this like intellectual leap in consciousness, and this sort of rising up of humanitarian values in the collective as a whole. So it's really like, you know, silver lining. It's like, it seems like, you know, there's some good stuff that's coming. It's just, it takes a while, obviously. Britta, I really liked your post today. You said at some point, maybe it was in your story, we say in the yoga world all the time, no mud, no lotus. You know, you got to like get through some of the like dirty stuff to make the good stuff happen, right? So just we've kind of been like stuck in a lot of shit lately, but good stuff is coming. You know, you got to burn it down to build it back up. So it's basically what the planets are spelling out for us too, which is really freaking cool, because it's like what we're seeing, you know, play out in our country and around the world right now. But so basically all of this is leading up to, you know, this age of Aquarius. They call this like quantum leap in consciousness, basically, where people are starting to wake up, starting to see that the old is not serving us anymore, that the old ways of the patriarchy are just trying to like tear us down, hold us down. I'm starting to get like too excited. I'm gonna step down off the soapbox a little bit, but basically we're moving towards this like bigger consciousness of like unity and humanitarianism, which is really cool. But I digress. Back to the full moon. Okay. So Aquarius, really progressive, really non-conforming, and really humanitarian. And I love, you know, those of us that know Jamie now, she's even like, she's shy. She's just her little like name on the screen. She's like, oh yes, this is me. She's 100% like just humanitarian, like biggest heart ever. Very like, you know, just goes to her own drum, which is like super lovely. It's one of my favorite things about her. Aquarius also, we'll talk a little bit about, you know, what you can do for this full moon if you want to channel some of this. There you go, a little fine. Aquarius is connected to the nervous system. So anything that you can do, any work you can do that will help like calm or soothe you. So maybe like a full moon bath if you're a bath person, some soothing yoga like restorative or yin yoga, anything you can do to really give your nervous system like some extra TLC would be really great. And Aquarius is also then ruled by the mind. So it's a sort of attachment, right? Mind is housed in the nervous system. So there's a sense of elevated consciousness that is like accessible to all of us right now, which is really cool. And so that opposition in Leo, right? Full moon in Aquarius, the sun is in Leo. I think it's really cool. And I think it was Pam, you know, that said this too, is that there's this unity of the mind and the heart. So Aquarius is the mind, Leo is the heart, and consciousness is this connection between the mind and the heart. And when you have those two that are working together, then that's when you can get some really cool stuff to happen, when your mind and your heart are aligned. So that's what we're going to dive a little bit deeper into now. I'm going to take a breath. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts? You doing good? Cool. Awesome. So how the heck do we do all of this, and what does this mean? Okay, wait. Oh, Britta, do you mind if I read this? You sent it to me privately. I don't know if you meant to or not. Tons of people are having kids right now, or just having kids in the past 3 years. In astrology, it says that these babies are the age of Aquarius, like they have come here to be the change. I just think it's wild because everyone I know is having kids. Yeah, that's awesome. I hadn't thought about that either. Because think about it now, we're to the point, you know, I mean, in our, are we millennials technically? Like the late 20s, mid 20s, I don't know, age. But so yeah, we're to the point now where like we're having kids too. And I think that we're like open-minded, like chill enough people that I would think that our kids would be like, you know, yeah, ready to change the world and like not down for the patriarchy at all. So this is pretty cool. Yes, bring in the age of Aquarius, young children. I'm for it. Cool. Okay, so consciousness, unity of the mind and heart. Yes, so here we have, yes, oh, I like that line that I read. Here we have that with the fiery heart of Leo and the elevated mind of Aquarius. Yes, so get that connection. Awesome. Okay, so what does this mean for you guys? All of this out in the stars, what does that mean for you in your daily life? So this full moon in Aquarius is really wants you to break past your barriers, right? And break past any boundaries that are keeping you away from this level of highest consciousness that we're talking about, right? So this means sometimes, you know, doing a little bit of shadow work, you know, looking into some blockages that you've had, looking at some limiting beliefs. If you haven't done yet in our meditation challenge, I think that's day 4, is there's a whole meditation about removing blockages, you know, and figuring out what it is that's holding you back from this, you know, highest self, highest consciousness, with just highest vibrational way of being, you know, however you want to say it. But we're figuring out ways that, you know, you can break past those limitations and open your mind so that you can then move yourself forward as a way of then moving humanity forward, right? And I know this is a really, it's really like heavy stuff. And, you know, you're not expected to do this overnight, right? Jupiter doesn't catch up to the party for another 4 years, you know, so you got time to like do your work, but, you know, just starting to like think about this stuff and using the natural energies that are at play to help boost you in that way, right? So breaking past your blockages and also tapping into this universal mind or collective consciousness, you know, whatever phrase you want to put behind it. You can call it God, goddess, spirit, universe, whatever, but it's tapping into that place of unity and that place of cohesion, right? So this is a very Aquarian in nature, this idea of, you know, do work for the whole. Go ahead, Jamie, was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. But, you know, doing this work for the whole, right? So tapping into, you know, by tapping into that level of highest consciousness, it's not just so that, you know, you can like feel great all day long. That is wonderful. That's a really great part of it. But you are making yourself feel great so that you can go out and that you can be your best self for your loved ones, for the people you meet on the street, for your family, you know, so it's all about you being a part of this bigger and greater whole, right? So we can tap into this sense, or maybe this heart space of collective consciousness, of universal love, but then we add, you know, our lens of our own unique values, our unique purpose, our dharma. You know, you take your special strengths, passions, and talents and use those through the, you know, universal mind as a way to help elevate, you know, the whole. Right? Is that making sense? It's, like I said, it's pretty hefty and you're not supposed to do it obviously like today. But, you know, there is little stuff you can do today also. This doesn't have to look like starting a whole non-profit organic garden yoga class that also adopts children. You know, you don't have to do that. It could just be like, you know, letting someone out in traffic, you know, or just like smiling at the person that made you your coffee. Yeah, you'd have to get one of those masks that's like clear around the mouth so they could see that you smiled. But, you know, just like it could be little stuff, right? It doesn't have to like be life-changing yet. Enough little stuff kind of will be life-changing. So one of our bigger journal prompts, and we're going to go into this a little bit in our meditation too, but you can get it now if you want, is how can my unique gifts and passions aid in the healing of global consciousness? This is like this massive ass question. Obviously, you're not gonna like find the be all end all answer tonight, but how can my unique gifts and passions aid in the healing of the global consciousness? And I'll say it again a little bit later, and if you need to, I can throw it in the chat at the end. Right? So obviously, yeah, it's a really hefty question, but also I want you to have faith in yourself, right? Because there is this energy of Aquarius that is here for us, and that energy is set to help, you know, elevate the power of your mind, you know, and your consciousness. So, you know, you might be surprised, you know, if you want to sit down, and obviously I understand we're in a group setting now, so it's not as intimate, but maybe if you'd feel more comfortable, you know, later doing a little meditation for yourself and really tapping into just that place of stillness and trust and of knowledge within yourself, and then just free journaling after that, you know, you might be so surprised at what comes out of you. You know, so don't just tell yourself that, oh, this is such a big thing, there's no way that I can change the world, I'm just me. You know, you don't know that. You know, just listen to, you know, the listen to the guidance that's inside of you, and just see what comes out. Your contribution will be valuable no matter what it is. So just listen to yourself. So you can sit down, with your journal, with these questions, maybe a little bit later. Like I said, if you're more comfortable, meditate. You can call in some spirit guides if that's a practice of yours, or just, calling in your highest self and asking yourself, how can my unique gifts and passions aid in the healing of global consciousness, right? And then just let it pour out of you. So, why are we doing this? Oh, this was me getting excited again. I get so excited about this idea of like using self-care and these like meditative practices as a way for like social resistance and just like changing the world, that I just like, it's so much to get into. But I just wanted to add this little bit too, that, this is aiding in this grander shift that teaches us polarity and duality, and is moving us towards this idea of unity, right? But then also individuality in the unity. That's that Leo in the Aquarius, because Leo, as we know, they're very like fiery, they're very passionate, they're very like, here I am, I'm fabulous, just take me as I am, right? So you can have that still like super powerful individual energy, but then using that as part of the collective, which is that Aquarius heart, right? So we've been taught that there is just, and we're moving away from that polarity. That's what I was talking about, right? So we're moving away from this idea of the right and wrong, black and white, left and right, that we're realizing on a much grander scale just how much like bullshit that is. And we're moving towards this more collective, communal idea that is that age of Aquarius, right? And we're going to be part of it, and it's going to be great. And we are going to be the goddesses and stewards of the transformation. I 100% believe that. Cool. So, I think that was my rant. How can my unique gifts and passions aid in the healing of global consciousness? And then I'll give you the last journal question at the end. Jamie, would you like us to do a little meditation first and then you draw for us, or vice versa?
Let's go ahead and do the meditation, I think.
Cool.
Is that good?
Sounds great. So, if you have the space to just kind of get comfy, settle into your seat, maybe close your eyes a little bit, however comfortable you are. I know meditation's a little bit of a vulnerable practice, so just get yourself into a space where you can sit and just be quiet for a little bit. Look, Dee's down for it too. You good, Dee? You here to meditate? Okay. Good. So as you're ready, maybe just settle down, let your sitting bones root back behind you. Sit up nice and tall through the crown of your head and through your spine. Let your shoulders soften down your back. And then close your eyes. And as you're ready, just take a big full breath in, deepest breath you've taken all day long, filling all the way up with air to the very tippy top. And exhale, let it out, maybe through an open mouth, sigh it out, let go of any tension, heaviness. Inhale fully. Exhaling completely. Good, just take a few more settling breaths just like that. Making sure to breathe nice, deep, and full. Maybe noticing if there's any tension lingering in your body, if there's any thoughts, right, hiding out in the corners of your mind. Just give ourselves the space and the time to settle into our bodies, into our breath for a few moments here. Noticing any emotional attachments that you came to the circle with today. Maybe any lingering energies from your day. Just notice them, right? Maybe breathe yourself a breath of compassion and then root yourself into right here and right now. Maybe that's just by listening to the sound of your breath, sound of my voice. And I will guide your awareness softly into your heart space. right at the center of your chest, sort of right below the breastbone. Notice any lingering emotions, energies that have settled around your heart today. And send a full big breath into your heart. Imagine you could clear out some space with an inhale breath. And exhale, let it go. So we'll honor this space in our hearts this evening, honoring our ability to grow, to learn, to create change, both in our own lives and in the global life. So just give yourself a moment right here with intention in your heart and with some genuineness in your heart, right? Tell yourself that your passions, your abilities, those have the ability to make change. You have the ability to make change in the world. You have the ability to make change doing what you love. And that taking care of yourself is an act of care and change for the whole world. Give yourself permission here to take up space in your life. Give yourself permission to take an hour out of your day to do something just for you. As we carve out that space, we build the foundations for our emotional, mental well-being that will give us the space to nurture our passions and to create change. So let's place our hands over top of our hearts, right? Let your palms rest against your chest. You can even tuck your chin down in towards your palms a bit if you like. Take a full big breath into your heart. Feel it beating beneath your palms. Let it go. Repeating to yourself, letting the words fall into your heart. I deserve to take up space. I have the power to make change. And my unique talents and passions can change the world. Let's bring our palms together in a prayer position. Bring your thumbs up to your third eye center, so right between your eyebrows. Just taking a moment to honor that space, that teacher, that collective consciousness, that divine love that is inside each and every one of us. And allowing ourselves to trust in our own intuition, our own internal guidance. You can softly release your hands as you're ready. Take a moment to take a final big full breath in and out. Take your time. Softly open up your eyes. Thank you, ladies. So now let's get some magical guidance from one of my favorite magical ladies, Miss Jamie.
Thank you. I was thinking if I could only always open my eyes and see you smiling there. I know you'd be no, but yeah. Okay. So thank you for that, Sierra. And I just want you guys to know that I feel like Sierra sets up these meditations. So if you don't catch the meditation when it's happening in person, that you can always go back and that energy is still there. So that's what I love about these sessions with each other, because a lot of times, because they do fall on the full moons and new moons, that's oddly enough when I get really busy with readings. So but I'm grateful that I can go back and always tune in later. So I pulled 3 cards, which actually happened to be 5 cards for this. And I always ask my higher self to talk to the collective for the Moon School's higher self, and to leave our egos out of it. So the cards that I pulled, I always say I'm not surprised, but I'm always surprised, right? So the fact that some of the women here are saying like they're wanting to do some detoxing and maybe set some boundaries to get things done, even if it's just mundane chores like I got to get the laundry done and it's time to start doing the dishes, right? But I think that falls right in line with the harvesting holiday we just had. What was it, Lammas? Okay, so right, because now we're starting to kick back into gear that, okay, now we're harvesting, now we're getting things together, right? So all of that seems right on point. And like Carrie had mentioned, the more you start vibrating higher, the less other things that you did, they just kind of fall away. Same things happen with me as well. So you guys, you guys are trending. You're on point with all this stuff. So give yourself a pat on the back. And I'm going to flip the phone around if I could figure out how to do it. Can I flip it around so you can see the cards?
Yeah, you should be able to.
How do I do that?
There should be a little, it'll look like a shuffle icon where it's just like circle, like arrows going around themselves in circles.
Okay.
That was a really great explanation, I know, of icons and how they work. Oh, you just muted yourself. Oh, there you go. Woohoo!
It's like an old man eating soup trying to get this. Okay. All right. So the first card that I pulled was the 4 of Discs, which talks about boundaries. So I wasn't surprised that this came up, mainly because with the Aquarian full moon, what that full moon is asking you is to see what boundaries that you have put on yourself that are holding you back. At the same time, it's asking you what boundaries that you do need to put on yourself to move you forward, that it's okay to say no to certain things, and it's okay to see yourself in a different light where maybe you didn't have boundaries before. It's time to enact those boundaries that you now see. Hold on. That you now deem, I know it's getting wild over here on the corner, that you now deem important to move forward. So because then I pulled the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords. And I mean, I can't make this up. Like, it's so perfect. The Queen of Wands comes out. So this is a very mature energy, but the Queen of Wands, she's the life of the party, you guys. She is very secure with herself. And you can see she's even holding a sunflower, which I think is just perfect because we're in Leo season. Yeah. She always has her little black cat with her because that is her shadow side. And she understands that she has that shadow side and she's okay with it. That little black cat goes with her everywhere she goes. And Sierra had touched on this, that with the full moon in Aquarius, it is asking you to maybe think about your shadow side or things that have been holding you back. So things that come up that are a little bit uncomfortable, sit with them, release them, and know that you can move on. You know, the Knight of Swords is here. Knights are always loyal, so be loyal to yourself, right? But the sword here is mental. Aquarians are mental. So start thinking about how you can be more loyal to yourself, and also know all this knowledge is going to be coming in really fast. You can see, like, his horse is hauling ass, right? So you guys get ready for this. These downloads are going to come in fast, and start stepping into this mature energy. You know, the Queen of Wands is fire. Wands is passion. It start to get back in touch with what you find passionate about yourself, all sides of yourself. And then here we are, the Ace of Cups. Like, I can't make this up. Like, I was just like, holy shit. Because it is time. It's a new time to fall back in love with yourself, right? It's a time to get your divine sides back in touch, your divine feminine and your divine masculine. You know, Sierra put it very beautifully when she was saying, you know, Aquarius is the mind and Leo is the heart. Well, here it is in card form, right? So let's get back. It's a new start on how we see ourselves divinely, but how we start to love ourselves divinely. Set those boundaries. Leave some boundaries behind. It's up to you. And on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Two of Swords. Once again, balance, you know, the Two of Swords, contemplate, meditate, sit and think where it is that you want to go. Sit and think where it is that you've been, right? You've got all this water behind you. It's okay to be emotional and mental is what I'm trying to say, but emotional and mental, right? It's that balance. So you guys take this time in this moon cycle until we see each other again on the new moon and really go through these things and think about these things, right? It's up to you to make these choices. And whatever choice you make in this cycle is the right choice. Remember that too. There are no wrong choices. We were all on this journey and your time is your divine time. So just to recap, we got the Four of Discs. The Queen of Wands came out with the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Two of Swords. So this was a beautiful reading. I know I say that every time because I really believe that, you guys. And so thank you, Sierra, for allowing me to do this reading. And if you guys want to get in touch with me, just direct message me through Instagram. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And she should be, I think Jamie's in our Instagram chat group.
Yeah.
Should be. Yeah. So yeah, and you guys can all find each other in there. Yay! Thanks, Jamie. How fun! I love that we added that in there. So great.
I am too.
Thank you. Perfect. Cool. So that's it. I'll do some final housekeeping. I'll throw the journal prompts in the bottom. Oh, and the second one I was going to give you. So the first one we went over, you know, how can my unique gifts and passions aid in the healing of global consciousness? The second one is what barriers am I creating and what fears am I listening to that are keeping me from living my highest truth? And so I know those are a lot of words, so I will throw those in the chat currently. Can I divide the two with an enter, or is it just going to be slew of words? Oh, nope, it's just a slew of words. Okay, that's fine. But 2 questions after the question mark. So how can my unique gifts and passions aid in the healing of global consciousness? And what barriers am I creating? And what fears am I listening to? And how are those keeping me from living my highest truth? And I love, that bit that, you know, Jamie added in about the balance, you know, so we're talking about, you know, balance. And then I especially love balance through the lens of barriers and of boundaries, right? Because we were talking about, you know, what barriers maybe you need to break through. But then also, you know, there are those barriers that, you know, you're ready to set up, you know, and I think that echoes a lot with a lot of us that are trying to, you know, not drink as much, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can interpret how you work with boundaries and barriers. So I think that was really cool. Okay, I think that was it. Oh, I wanted to give just the link to the meditation challenge one more time if anyone wanted to go and check out. That's on the Moon School homepage. And then throughout the Moon School, we also have then our monthly live stream yoga classes. Well, they're not live streamed. They're like, it's a yoga library of pre-recorded classes. And then there's also a meditation library where you can go and access all of that. There are monthly moon calendars, journal workbooks that go a little bit more in depth into what we're talking about, and then some special kind of bonus stuff like the meditation challenge that we did. So all of that is in there. Any final thoughts, questions, dreams, hopes, or anything? I have a sleeping dog to show. Kind of nice, but oh, she's cold. She's all holed up. She just looks like a cinnamon bun right now. You can't even see her face. Oh well.
I wanted to tell you that my runes were like perfect. They were like, I got like 2 protection ones and like I think a boundaries one and like a self like sufficient one. It was now of course I can't remember what they are on there inside. It was like one of them was Hagalaz. It was the hailstorm. So it was like change is coming and it's coming in like a hailstorm. But I had like 2 protection ones. So I was like, but it'll be okay. So I loved my runes. Thank you for my runes.
Good. I'm so glad. Yeah, there's also some monthly ritual kits that I'll send out too with the Moon School. So yeah, all of that you can check out on the little page thingy. That's it.
I had a question.
Yeah.
So through all of these changes and like thinking quantumly, like these shifts in our consciousness, I don't know if you guys feel similar than I do, but normally like when these shifts occur in my life and I'm going through these changes, I usually feel like it's hard to speak, or like it's hard to even I guess communicate like effectively, because sometimes I'll just say things and I'm like, this is not even like connecting to my brain, like, you know, it just comes out like word vomit, and you're like these people don't, it's usually with like professional people, so it's kind of, it's different than like with people that get you, like all of you probably would understand someone and be like super genuine and kind, you know, if someone was like saying weird things and you're just like, okay. And then also like I usually get like super lethargic, or just like it's hard for me to eat. I feel like I'm detoxing, and so like I usually gravitate towards eating fruit a lot. And so like these are things that like I face when I'm going through this transition. And yeah, so I guess I kind of had like a question of advice for like anyone who wanted to put in some input on that. Like what do you do, or what helps you get through that time and like come out on top? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you like are aware enough of, you know, your own energetics and your own body to see that. Especially the fact that you just crave fruit. That's such a like a fun little thing to notice. But I think that's so fun. I think I get really lethargic. I get really tired. I get like really sad. I don't know. I'm a Scorpio and I'm just like hella emotional. Like, so I just, when I like am overwhelmed and when I feel a lot of shifts and change, I just get like really sad, and I like to like cry about a lot of things for like no reason. But something that I know will personally, you know, helps me through that is just trying to put stuff in perspective. So journaling, I think, is the main way that I go through that. I'll just kind of, you know, write out like how I'm feeling. Really, it sounds kind of like Dear Diary-ish, but you know, just writing out how I'm feeling, and then I like have a conversation with myself on the paper. I'm gonna sound crazy now, but you know, I just talk to myself and say why I'm feeling the way that I am, and then, you know, knowing what I do know about, you know, wellness and personal development and all that stuff, I can kind of dive deeper into why I'm feeling that way and maybe find kind of a source, but not even looking for a reason for it, just, you know, allowing myself to like really feel that way. And then like I'll eat chocolate and just like say fuck it and just give myself that little bit. But yeah, I think journaling is the one thing that really gets me. I love writing, and that's the way that I like speak to myself. So that's my addition to that. I don't know if anyone else has anything.
I have the same. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So to kind of add to that, actually this woman that came into work, we started talking. She had like this necklace that like helps her with communication. I think it was topaz. I could be completely wrong. I don't remember. And we were talking about it, and I was talking to her about communication because I have the same problem, you know, like what I'm trying to, like, it's not connecting, you know. And she gave me this advice, and I tried it, and it actually really helped. Like before like a big conversation, or before like you're gonna have a talk with someone, she said she like gets in the shower and basically just talks to herself. It's like says it out loud, the things that you're feeling. And you know, journaling is a really big thing for me too. Like I have my journal here. I've been like taking notes the whole time. So like, yeah, I like to write, but to actually hear yourself say those words too, that's kind of helped me with certain conversations that I've had to have here recently. And then writing a letter, like if it's to a person, I'm like, dear so-and-so, I write that whole letter, and I have brought the letter with me to someone, and I've been like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm about to read off of this letter everything that I feel. I'm about to be fully transparent. This is how it's going to go. And I noticed that kind of helped me communicate better. So yeah.
Thank you.
I think with me, with like communication, I'm a little bit opposite. I overly communicate, but I also like, I manage yoga studios, and I've just had a lot of experiencing in that area. And I'm super direct. And I think like when it comes to like having that disconnection between like voice and like what's going on in your mind, I definitely agree with writing everything. Like I'm someone, if I'm going to send an email, I will like really like overly communicate it. That way it's just like super clear and concise. It just really helped me. And it's like even like exactly like printing it out and reading from it. That way, like when you speak to people, it doesn't matter like how long it is, or if you like say something 3 times, as long as it's clear and you're being concise, then say it 3 times if you need to, or say it in 3 different ways. In regards to like being lethargic, especially during full moons, I like sleep the entire day. Like, I don't know what it is, but like the moon is like, you need to sleep. But I think it's also like, we're in this year of like rest and reset. And like, if we aren't working right now, or if we're doing less right now, maybe this is the year to like really let your body and mind rest. So like when the time is to come back to work at full speed ahead with anything in your life, like you have that year of rest so you can do the work when you're asked to.
I love that. Thanks, Britta. I think I'm in the same boat. I think I also overly communicate sometimes when I get like nervous or excited or anything. Chloe, that's kind of felt like how I was with you the other day. I finally met Chloe like in person for the other day, and I think I was just so excited. I was just like word vomiting all over her. Not really, but like we were just talking and I get really excited and then I like talk really fast and overly communicate, which I guess is why I'm good at like hosting circles, because I'll just talk and talk and talk. But yeah, no, thank you all for sharing in on that. Any final little questions?
Yeah,
About anything? Go ahead, Chloe.
Oh, I said I'm the same way, and like I think that can overwhelm some people, especially like really calm people that like, you know, and I'm working for a family right now that's like that, and so it's like I feel like I shouldn't say all that I need to say sometimes because of that, because I think my energy is so excited that it like overwhelms them. So it's like trying to like balance your like excitement, I guess, to be able to be like clear and concise and like, you know, zen like all the time, which is like not really obtainable, but you know, you try.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And I'm sorry, I'm not going to open this wormhole, but that is only like taught to females, that like we have to curb our excitement when dealing with other people. Like, oh, I need to calm down or else I'm going to overwhelm them. Like, you never hear a guy say that. Like, sorry, I'm not to open that whole like wormhole, but that is something that, yeah, just we've been like taught is like, no, you don't. I get, yeah, you don't have to do that. And it's so hard to like deprogram that from us. But yeah, you're allowed to be like as fucking excited as you want to be. But yeah, it can be hard, yeah, to step into that like fully and powerfully. But I don't know, get all the crystals, talk to yourself in the shower, I guess, and then just come out and be like, here I am, I'm this excited about life.
Seriously.
I think also like with like balancing that energy, like if people can't handle like who you are and your excited energy, then maybe like those aren't your people, or like that isn't the job for you. Because you want to be around the people who like accept you as you are, even in like your most excited moments. And like I've worked with people who like didn't like my energy before, and I'm like, okay, like you need to go then, or I need to go, because like we need to work with people who are going to elevate us.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, girls. Snaps for it. Any last little thoughts, bits, dreams and wishes?
The groups that you were talking about, like the Facebook group and stuff, can you add me to those, or like can you send me an invite for them?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll send you the link on Instagram, yeah, and then I can add you in there. Yeah.
I'm so happy I got to see your face.
Oh, I know. I'm so happy I get to see all of you now. I feel like I'm cheating. It's like I'm not in New Orleans anymore, and like I'm here, but I still get to see everyone. And now I get to meet fabulous new people like Carrie that I've never met before. And now Britta, go moving again across the country, and I'll just like still be able to see you. It's so great.
I really like how this happened. I was literally talking to my roommate. I was just like, a lot of things have just brought to my attention. I don't have like a lot of connections that are like conscious, I guess you could say, and so this opens a whole new portal. So thank you for just creating this thing. It's awesome.
Here we are, girl. Hell yeah. Welcome to the Moon School. That's what we're all about. Hell yeah. Cool. Well, thank you all ladies so much for sharing your space and your energy and your thoughts and everything. I hope you all have a fabulous full moon day. If you can go outside and see it and dance in it and worship it, whatever you want to do tomorrow, you can do all that. I will talk to you all so soon. I love you. Take care. Sleep
Good
tight.
night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.